Right. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another podcast episode. My name is Riddick Lynn, and today we're going to be talking about the law of attraction and self-belief. So, just to kind of prime y'all for the episode, I wanted to read an excerpt from my latest blog post. If you're interested in checking out any of my blog posts, because I do reference them sometimes in some of my podcasts, you can go to medium.com/Riddick Lynn to find me. All right, so I'm going to start off reading on my other screen. That's why I'm looking over here. And this is going to kind of prime us for the episode. So let's get into it. There I was, alone in my room, staring at the ceiling. My body might have been grounded, but my mind was lost in the stars with dreams of becoming somebody. You feel with all of your being that you can achieve whatever goal or dream is currently occupying your mind. I will succeed, you tell yourself, and you believe it with every fiber of your being. It feels good to be in that headspace. It feels real, raw, and natural, like it's what you were meant to do. So you proceed forward with this galactic revelation and try to make the dream into reality, only a month later to find out that you're back to your old ways, wishing that you had been consistent. This sort of pattern has been a recurring theme in my life, and only recently have I started to sort of observe this phenomena of having a big dream, wanting to do something, and really feeling that you can do something big. Like for example, there was this one time when I was watching a CrossFit documentary. I was watching a few of them over the span of a few nights. And I was driving to the gym one day and it just popped into my head. And I was like, hey, you know, I want to be the CrossFit World Champion. And at that moment in time, you believe it. And you sort of have this delusional confidence that it's going to happen. You're going to make it happen. You're going to make it work. And what sucks is that with all of these dreams, you have that period of inspiration, motivation, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, and then something happens, you hit a roadblock, you hit an obstacle, and you just revert back to your old life. And it seems almost illogical or delusional in a sense to think that, you know, with all of your heart, you're going to achieve this monumental task, irrespective of the fact that you have no experience in the area. I don't know CrossFit. I go to the gym, but I don't know CrossFit. Like what is it that makes me think that I can just do that? Or, competing against people who have been doing that for years and years. What makes me think I can get to that point? And I'm not trying to say that having this delusional confidence is bad. I'm actually trying to say that it's good. I think that there's a quote that I really like. I forget who says that. I think it's Bill Gates. The quote is, the people who are crazy enough to change the world are the ones that actually do it. And that quote really resonates with me, because I think to some extent, if you want to achieve like a big, big dream, you're gonna need some delusion to think that you can actually do it, you know? I think you need to, I think it's a requirement for success in a big field, you know? I like to do ultra running, and I was doing my very first ultra run, I did 5Ks, I did 10Ks, I did a half marathon, and then I watched a video by Nick Bear, and he was doing a 50 mile. I didn't do a 50 mile, but I did sign up for a 50K right after that. And it was a 50K is 31 miles, and I had never run over 13 miles, you know? So I think obviously you're going to train for it and you're going to prepare. But I think to go into something big that you've never done to that extent before requires just a delusional confidence, self-belief, faith in yourself that you're going to do it, you know, irrespective of if you're actually prepared to do it or not. You just have to have that confidence, or else it's probably not going to go your way. And I think that one way you can sort of build a foundation for this confidence is using past wins to fuel your future wins, you know? Um, I think that if we look at wins on a scale, right? Let's say one win is worth 1 point. Let's say the next win is worth 2 points, right? This is a very small win, right? You take it, and then you get to this new big dream, and this one's 2 points, so it's a little harder, right? Now you're going to use your past win, and you're going to say, well, I've gotten here. And then you use that delusional confidence, and you're going to say, well, maybe I can stretch it to here. And then you just keep doing that, and your dreams get bigger and bigger and bigger. I really hope that analogy works because I kind of just made it up off the cuff. But if you understand what I'm saying, I think you can just use your past smaller wins to help you really push and achieve those bigger wins, along with having that sort of delusional self-belief in yourself that you can to do it. I don't think it's delusional at all. I think it's necessary, you know. I think if you have two people, same goal, and they have the same experience, same background, all of that is the same, and one of them is doubting themselves the whole time versus the other one who just knows that they're going to do it, I think that the person who just knows they're going to do it and has that confidence and belief in themselves is probably going to do better than the person doubting themselves the whole time, you know? And this is sort of where I want to get into the law of attraction part. So I only recently came into contact with it, and essentially, from my from my understanding, is that it's basically about manifesting what you want to happen by just reminding yourself of what you want and acting like it's already happened, like you already have that. Conor McGregor has this good clip that I've seen around the social media space a few times, and it's him driving in his I don't know what kind of car it is. It's a sports car. It's a good car, expensive car, and he's basically retelling the time when he didn't have the car, he didn't have the success or the fame, when he was driving in just a regular car. And while he was in that regular car, he said he was already acting like he had the sports car that he was in right now. He had already made it. And I think that kind of ties in with the point I made earlier about the delusional self-belief, self-confidence being a requirement for success. I think that you have to believe that you're going to do something and you have to actually believe it. I think that's very important. So I think reminding yourself of, first of all, what you want to do, you have to articulate that first. And once you have that dream, you just remind yourself of it every single day. And when you encounter a roadblock, use your past wins to help you get past it. I think that's a good framework for success. And I think I've only recently started trying to use this law of attraction to manifest my dreams and desires. And I think there is something to it, something about pretending like you already have it and getting in that mindset and just reminding yourself every single day when you wake up of what you want to achieve, what you want to do with your life. That really helps. It really motivates you. It keeps you on track. And I think it's very easy in this. this digital age to get lost because there's so many options of what you could do. There's so many choices of what you could be that we almost sometimes lose sense of what we actually want. So I think if you're able to define what you really want and not what society's telling you to get or what your parents or friends are telling you to get, but what you want, I think this is a good framework for that type of goal, you know? And it is helping me, and hopefully it can help some of you. Um, that's the episode today, though, guys. I would like to part with a quote from Napoleon Hill. The quote is, "What the mind of man can conceive and believe, the mind of man can achieve." Thank you for watching.